Good morning. Hey everybody, how are y'all doing? What that doesn't tell you is that it's probably 80% humidity also. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're starting out here because I've just finished watering. Rainwater gets trapped here in this dry sink, and that provides some local water, which is actually healthier than the stuff that comes out of our taps. This is me, Jen at home, when I'm not slinging paint for the bass fishing industry. I'm a huge garden nerd. There's a ton of mint, so I'm just going to kind of do a whip around of where we are. Today is July 15th, 2024, and we are in the backyard. I just finished filming a bunch of stuff for iCast and our iCast release. I'm trying to get these mint leaves. There we go. Back up. They don't hold water very well, much like many people don't hold alcohol very well. So we're going to start over in this corner. I want to show you some progress. You're going to hear barking dogs. So got these on rescue. They were in the clearance bin at the local Home Depot in Calhoun. So brought them back to life pretty well. Same with this guy. I just changed the pot out, and it's flourishing out here in this heat. What do you have? You're not gardening? No. That's Kaya and Molly and Rascal. So I got all three of them out here with me today. I'm going to try and do a continual shot because it's just easier on editing. I've got a lot to edit. Oh, yeah, we've got Moose in the backyard and his friends. There's Ziva and a bulldog, which it's debatable if it's really friendly, but there they go. These guys are on high alert. Get out of my lawn. So yeah, wow. So some things are finished, like most of my herbs I'm drying if I haven't already cut. This is the corner. We're going to walk around there in a second, but I'm going to kind of keep us right here in this little spot because holy smokes, tomatoes, they are going like gangbusters this year. And I do not add chemicals. I add a little bit of fertilizer at the beginning of the year, and then I mix blood meal and some Happy Frog organic tomato, which is basically just all organic earth, diatomaceous earth, super healthy for them. And that's it. That's all I'm doing. And I don't think I've had a year this successful in a decade, probably. So they are just, and everything's container. I have decided that in-ground tomato planting for me just doesn't work well. But when I do container gardening, holy smokes. Like that one's going to Diana. I've got a few that are designated for folks that have asked for them. Normally what I do with tomatoes and any of the vegetables that I grow is that I'm canning. So this helps offset the costs of groceries. And boy, has it helped as far as produce this year. I don't think that I've been to the produce department in a couple of months now, which is fantastic. So just kind of a quick spin around. So I have pollinators and mammoth spinach. Hey, I'm talking. Her voice is getting deeper. She thinks she's big. Kaya was a tiny puppy when she first got here, and now. Anyways, I've got spinach right here. Spinach right here. The rest of my leafy greens are gone. This is super hardy spinach. It's great for boiling, steaming, chopping up and doing in quiche. Salad, you want to eat the smaller leaves like in there because I pick out of it and they just regrow. So spinach is pretty easy to keep going through the year. You'll see where I've picked off a bunch of stuff in here. And it's just going and going and going. So it will go at some point, usually like the end of July, August. It does start getting tough and bitter. It's not yet. So I'm taking advantage of that. So instead of spending $3-4 a head for chemically laced lettuce at the store, I've been eating a lot of spinach salads, and it shows. Like, I've lost like 10 pounds. But I'm also not drinking alcohol, so that's a big difference. I'm having a beer like maybe once every couple weeks. I had a birthday beer with Tristan at work. So this is what happens to arugula. And you want that pollination. You really, really want it. But look at how beautiful. See if I can get a focus on that. There we go. Look at how beautiful the flowers are on that. How flippin' cool. And 100% edible. Member of the dandelion family. And while we're talking about dandelions, I'm going to walk to the back of this. Around the, there we go, around the decaying grill. I still use it, but yeah, it needs a refresh. So one of these days I'll break down and get hey, if any grill sponsors are out there, sure could use a new one. So getting away from that, walking back over to this butterfly bush. Did you know, fun fact about bees, solitary bees like carpenter bees and bumblebees, which are still really good, not even secondary pollinators, they're like primary pollinators, but they don't have a nest to go back to because they're solitary. So a lot of times for warmth, these little guys will sleep on the flowers because it provides warmth for them and shelter. And they just kind of hang out and sleep on it. Didn't know that. I had to look it up. And I talked to a beekeeper. And they're like, yep, that's what you're seeing. Because at first I'm like, oh man, these guys are sick. Is there something wrong with my bushes? You know, was it chemically grown bushes? And they're like, nope, you're fine. The bees are fine. And they're very gentle bees. But this little bumbler here just likes to sleep. When I was a kid, I was able to pet these little guys. And you still can. They're very gentle bees. But there's nothing wrong with them. So, I don't know how many of you guys have been with me through the season. I haven't done a whole lot of posting just because I stay super busy in the bass fishing area. But 90% of what I have out here in these gardens, I grew from seed. With exceptions to the marigolds. This was grown from seed. And it's gone crazy. The speedwell I bought. Hey, bee. See? They're good. They're just chilling. So it's just, and when it's hot, they kind of rest on things as well. So, but this is basically a pollinator area. Let me grab my iced coffee, which in this humidity, it's not iced anymore. And then moving around, she thinks she's gardening. This is like the hummingbird area. I get like a dozen or so hummingbirds that come in all different times of the day. And they just go crazy. They love these flowers. And so do my butterflies. I'm really starting to see a lot more swallowtails and monarchs, and really awesome. This is a smaller tomato plant that's doing well. You can see I've had some hornworm issues. You really got to stay up on that. I mean, like hardcore every single day, or they'll get you. And again, it's organic, so I don't put pesticides on it. I have a lot of garden spiders, which I'm super grateful for. But for the most part, everything's doing exceptionally well. And I'm standing, that's probably the 5-foot mark right here where my head is. So they're 6.5, 7, still going. I've had to rope them all together. So these two caladiums, the elephant ears, I had one bulb that I did purchase last year that was in my what's now root vegetable garden. And then I had one that was out in my massive corn plant, which I'll show you in a second. And I thought it was dead, but I dropped it into a bucket of water and it started to root, so I threw it in the ground and away we go. So that's doing well. These are more herbs for the most part. So the smaller leafed, I've got Mexican thyme and oregano. I've got Greek oregano. I've got 3 in here. I think I also have some Mexican sage as well. And then these crazy little brain flowers. And there's a red one under there too. I can't remember the name of this, but I love the mint color. It reminds me of mint chocolate chip ice cream, but it's just super pretty. This is the raspberry. It actually yielded 3 raspberries, which I didn't expect them to yield anything. Usually the first 2 years you just get growth. And then when the plant matures, it's a crapshoot as to whether it's going to be your 3rd or 4th year where you really start seeing fruit and the rewards and the payout from the labor. The foxglove is doing good. Everything seems to be doing pretty well. So this is new. The coleus are from Home Depot, but they were like $1.99 for 6 plants, so can't go wrong with that. And they give you really pretty little flowers. It doesn't want to focus, but you get the idea. Just kind of running through. This is the day before I cast, so I have editing to do. Hey, where'd that huge corn plant go? There it is. So this is what I've done with the corn plant. It was about 15 feet tall, and I've had the corn plant since I was in Norfolk, Virginia, I got it in 2005. So 15 years in another year, I've had this corn plant, and this is the first time that I have had occasion to say, you know what, you'd probably be healthier if you weren't leaning and trying to crowd around the ceiling and whatnot. So it was huge. It's flowered once for me. Hopefully it'll flower again. But what you do, if you want more corn plants, is that you take these cuttings and you put them in water like this. These are actually clear, very inexpensive trash cans from Temu. And I just wet drilled holes in the bottom of the ones that I'm using for planters. I'll show you those. And I kept these the way they are. So they have water. It takes about 2 months. I did this as soon as it was warm enough to get these out. It takes about 2 months, but they do start to root. Look at that. That's so flippin' cool. Kaya thinks it's cool also, which unfortunately she's kind of gone after this one a little bit. But there are roots and nubs on this, so I do expect this one to do okay as well. So the biggest thing is you just don't want the leaves underwater because they'll rot and get fungus and stuff. But finally I've got roots on just about all of them, but they take a very, very long time to do there, to get there. And there's some roots on that. So pretty excited about that. And then I just hose them down. You have to change the water because, of course, any standing water anywhere, probably on planet Earth, you're going to get mosquitoes and mosquito growth. And that's a huge no-no. You don't want that. So I change the water out every 2 days, unless it rains really heavy. There we go. When that happens, then it overflows and spills out and refreshes itself. I keep rocks in the bottom of it, not only for weight and to keep them upright because they are top heavy, but I also do it to add a little bit of filtration and purification because all the junk settles to the bottom and then it starts to act like fertilizer down there. That's one way you can do it. Let's take a walk over to what's not working well for me this year. I've really been struggling, and I'm pretty sure that a big part of it is because of location. And I'm pretty sure that these squash and pumpkins and cucumber and zucchini, I just don't think they like the mulch. And it's hard for them to take root. Even though they're sprawling vines, they're just not doing it. You can see that there's a lot of bug problems. Those little yellow squash bugs and the potato bugs. And again, I refuse to use chemical sprays. So I've picked 2 cucumbers that were mature, and those look pretty good. I've got 1 pumpkin right there. But I'm having a real rough time with it this year. Unfortunately, I don't think that I would grow them again here this year, perhaps further back in the yard where it's super sunny, because they're getting too much shade too. They love full sunlight. And the last part over here. Kaya! Puppy. She's a good girl. She's a little mouthy. All puppies like to bite, as does she. But let's bring you over here to the rest of it. So this is all of the bush tomatoes, cherries, Sweet 1 Millions. I'm not sure. They look like baby Cherokee purples. They're the sweetest tomato I've ever had in my life. They're amazing. They're a little bit lighter in color, and they're very striped. And then I've got the Sweet 1 Millions, the cherries, the Better Bush, and just unbelievable yield of fruit. They are fruit. They are not vegetables. Just finished watering. I just finished really weeding. Got rid of all the stuff that was out. I haven't had problems with like growth as far as grasses and stuff. I did put some border and barrier down to help control that a little better. And then underneath, I've got rock. I've got the little pea pebble, which you can see something, probably a mouse, has dug through. There's a couple little mouse homes in all of this. I've got 5 varieties of basil. I'm getting ready to top them again because they just keep flowering, which is good and bad. Anytime that you're growing herbs and they flower, the taste of the herb gets a little bit bitter. So I try and keep them topped so that they just continue to just bush out and grow. But I've got Thai basil, lemon basil, red basil, sweet basil, and a Russian basil, which has got a smoother, not as shiny leaf, but man, are they good. So good. Been doing lots of mozzarella, basil, tomato, and a balsamic vinaigrette this year. And the dill, I'm letting flower. There's only so much dill that I like on fish. I do a lot of fish, but there's so much dill here I'll have for the rest of the season. And then I'll just pull it up like I did the cilantro, which is coriander, which what I'm doing over here is letting it dry, and I'll have coriander seeds. There we go. So these are all going to be coriander seeds. You can grind them, you can put them in a bottle. Great spices, very Mediterranean or Spanish, obviously Spanish, but Mexican dishes, Mediterranean dishes. Kaya, what are you going to plant? What you going to plant, kid? I like to let these go ahead and grow, this pokeweed. Birds come and eat the fruit in the fall. It's a nice natural, not buying bird seed kind of thing. Although, yeah, I do. Love birds. We've had indigo bunting pears this year, which is pretty cool. I know this is a long one, but I'm going to be gone for a while. Here's that massive sunflower. It's almost finished up, but there's still tons of bees on it. And then with any luck, I'll have some sunflower seeds this fall. And then this is a little volunteer tomato. This little guy right here. Did not plant it, but what I normally do as I'm going through is anything that's got some bug holes or whatever, I'll go ahead and throw random spots in the garden. And then if we're lucky, next year, there'll be tomato plants. So there's a couple in there. Carrots, on the other hand, wow. So this is what's left. I had 2 rows of carrots. And that's the lavender. So we're through that. I'm gonna do more, starting my fall crops in here. But I'm gonna do more beans and peas there. We'll get to these and more Kaya in a second. And Molly. Hi, Molly. Have you been with the hose today? Is that what's happening with you? Yeah? Good dogs. So, cannot complain about the carrots. They are doing so well. Let me see if I can get to this without falling in here. I don't know if I'll be able to or not, but I'll be picking these shortly. And I just pick what I need because, again, they don't last as long when they are organic unless you're jarring or canning right away. You really need to pick what you're going to eat that day or the next day, especially with stuff that doesn't have pesticide control and whatnot. Last but not least, more varieties of tomatoes. And again, y'all, I have been blessed with a wonderful, wonderful garden. These are lemons. So these are lemon tomatoes. Beautiful, bright, orangish yellow fruit. Super sweet taste. Unbelievable. If you buy them at the grocery store, they're like crazy expensive, but so easy to grow. Got so many coming in. And they'll be gone by the time I get back from ICAST. I'm leaving tomorrow morning for ICAST, so these are going to be designated to go to Mike's wife because I have tons of tomatoes inside that Kelly can munch on while I'm gone. Oh my goodness. What are we barking at? Animals are on high alert. But more grape tomatoes. I mean, just look at all these things coming. They'll just keep going as long as I water properly and I spend the right time with them. Pick the hornworms off of them, throw them some bone meal and some happy frog. And I'll show you my routine for care. Really? That's a little dramatic, I think. Yeah. Get him. Yeah, because Bandit is. So that's it. Okay, one more. I forgot. Don't want to forget. Finally getting some good flowers from my Kentucky pole beans. And I just did one plant because there's almost such a thing as too much. If it's too much for you to take care of, then you want to this is an experiment. I wanted to see how many beans one bean would yield. So I planted one bean and I put it in a little starter container. And then when it was ready, I transported it here. This was the last garden I put together, was this little raised garden. I think the gardens themselves, this and this, cost me about $30 a piece, which is a lot less expensive. They're lower to the ground, but a lot less expensive than what you can get at like Tractor Supply or some of the other gardening spots. I've seen these go like upwards of $150, $200. Yeah, they're higher off the ground. You get deeper roots, but these root into the ground. And I started this with cardboard underneath, which is biodegradable. Not a whole lot of writing on it. So that's what that is. And they're doing fantastic. They seem to love it. Right, Kaya? What do you think? Have we done good this year? I know, this is a really long video. But I just kind of wanted to walk around. It's been a minute since I've talked to you guys. Get him. Get Molly. Get that puppy. Get the puppy. So that's where we're at. It's Monday, July 15th. Thanks for hanging out with me in the garden today and hanging out with the pups. I appreciate you guys. Hang on. Stay. I got to show them the orchids. Okay? All right. Stay. Good boy. Stay. No, sir. Stay. No. Just real quick, before I forget. Orchids love this time of year outside. Even in North Georgia in the mountains, it is hot, it is humid, and these guys go crazy. Look at how pretty that is. So beautiful. Everything's starting to bloom again. And they'll last all summer. There we go. Monstera's happy also. So just real quick, wanted to give you a quick glance. I'm not going to go into detail. This little guy, I'm trying to recover. The hosta's finished blooming. I've got roses and a fringe bush over there that I need to desperately trim. Oh my goodness, drama dog. But yeah, just super happy. Kind of let this Virginia creeper take over a little bit. I don't care. We don't sit in these chairs. We don't. And the corn plant. We talked about the corn plant on the other side of the house. This is the original, and look at how well it's doing. That's brand new since I cut it. Everything, look, that's new too. Check that out. So I cut it here, and look at that new shoot. 2 of them, probably one on the other side of that too. You notice that I cut it at an angle. That just helps it heal faster. So I'm expecting, looks like I've got a new nub that's going to be coming out here and here. So those 2. I've got new growth here. There we go. Sorry about the focusing. This camera, love me some iPhone, but this has kind of been exhausting dealing with focus. And of course, old Philly here. But they've become variegated. So they were, when I first bought the plant years and years. This is another one that's, these 2 are my OG plants. So I've had these guys since I was in Virginia. So Virginia, Maryland, Texas, Arkansas, and here. So long time. Plants will last forever if you care for them. Don't let these guys burn in the sun. They like indirect. So it's been getting a little bit hot out here. I've got this shade that stays down, but they still, on occasion, get a little bit of burn. I do have, of course, the yellow rose of Texas. And y'all wonder why I'm not from Texas by any means, but I spent a lot of time in Texas. I was in the Army, stationed at Fort Sam Houston in the medical division right out of high school. Was there for the GI Bill. And I've been back so many times. It's like a second or third home to me. And then these I need to deadhead. I just deadheaded not too long ago, but they need to have it done again. Hosta's finished. And then just wanted to show you this little tea rose. But yeah, let's go inside real quick. All right, guys, I'm coming. You waited for me. I see you. You resting? Good girl. Mama. That's my mom. When I was that little. Took this in college. That hung in a gallery in the Corcoran. It was really cool. Love my mama. Hopefully I'll see her this weekend when I get back from ICAST. Okay, here we go. Last room, but certainly not the least. Natural light for these guys. The spider plant is crazy. This is Spanish moss from Florida. Gets misted twice daily, or once a week when I'm gone. But when I'm gone, I usually shut off the air up there, open this so it gets natural humidity. It helps. Yeah. I need to repot this. I need to do so much work in here, so please don't judge me for my lack of being able to do stuff. So, pencil cactus, bamboo, spider, lots of philodendrons, creeping vine that has a really beautiful, bright fuchsia pink kind of a flower to it. Ficus, which desperately, I started out, yeah, let's do bonsais because I have so much time for that. I might even end up doing this as a second video because it's probably going to go long. These desperately need to be replanted. It takes a really long time to kill a pine, any kind of conifer, but unfortunately, yeah, not doing well with these, and that's my fault. So shame on me. I bought this because it's got 4 plants in it. So just saying, if you want to get a bargain, look for anything at the store, if you're buying from a store, that has more than 1 plant in it. Just tips for the wise. And this. So these guys, I've got a picture of when I first got them here, and I think maybe the longest frond was about that big, and now they're just about down to, well, that's probably my longest. That's a good 3 feet. So they're growing exceptionally well. They do well hanging. I'm just not sure about putting holes in the ceiling or any kind of support beam. But Boston ferns are usually easy to grow. You water them from the bottom, so you'll notice that there's extra big trays underneath all of my palm type ferny stuff. I know that's not technical. Again, no judgment. And I fill them up from the bottom, and then like once a week or so, and they've got new stuff shooting up. I'll water them from the top down, just in case they're not getting what they need. So, hodgepodge of watering crap, so don't pay attention to that. I have way too many bottles, but it's sufficient for me when I'm on the go. And then lighting, which could be brighter, but everybody seems to be happy. I love these. They're my fave. This is lace. It's so pretty. So yeah, super nerd. Now you got the nerd side of me. And the history side. What's good? What is good? That's good. That's a great book. Any of these. But that's it. That's what I got for you guys this week. Snake plant needs to be everything in this room needs to be repotted. Like stat. So, conversation for another time, and probably make a video out of it. I love aeroids. They're some of my favorite. You can see I've started getting a couple of them. All right, I really mean it this time. It's a begonia. It's a polka dot begonia. And the underside of it is red. How cool is that? I have so much to learn. But, hey, we can do it together, right? On to the editing desk. Woohoo! Hey guys. What's up? These are all real plants too. Just saying. Me and plants, we go way back. What are you doing, little tiny koi? I've got a bunch of goldfish and one koi. What's up, little dude? You're pretty. All of you are pretty. See ya.